I enjoy Jerry Jones. He is a fun character to have in the National Football League, assuming that he doesn't own your favorite team. That said, he probably needs to act a little less senile these days. Here he is in an interview that he did to make an announcement about the East-West Shrine game. He talked about how, after being asked about the Commanders losing on Monday night, he was asked about the Cowboys still being in the thick of things. Here's Jerry.
Better, but I'm pretty proud of how we've played so far. And we do have some serious help on the way, and that's part of the reason I feel as good as I do, because Dak's playing outstanding. Certainly Pickens is playing outstanding, and we've got some other people.
Blah, 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 blah. But he thinks they're still in the thick of it. Okay, I mean, you could argue that, sure. But do you believe that with the Cowboys right now? Probably not. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. That defense isn't good. And you need Dak Prescott to play like an MVP every single week for a chance to win. And by the way, he's played like an MVP for a lot of this season. What do the Cowboys have to show for it? They have a Sunday Night Football tie against the Green Bay Packers. Like, that's the most impressive thing that the Cowboys have done this season. Outside of that, at 2-3-1, they lost to the Eagles the first game of the year, in a game where Jalen Carter, the Eagles' most important defensive player maybe, got ejected. They got smoked by Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, 31-14. And they lost to the Panthers and Rico Dowdle, who they moved on from this past offseason. Their wins are over the Giants and Jets. Like, from a record perspective, sure, they're still in it, but are you still in it? Sounding a little senile. But this is where he really starts to sound like he needs to hand the reins over to somebody else. I don't know why he keeps doing this, but he keeps on bringing up everything that the Cowboys got in the Micah Parsons trade, and how they could theoretically use what they got in the Micah Parsons trade to make a trade to improve their team this year. Here is Jerry Jones, Dallas Cowboys GM and owner.
Keying off of, but I think we can improve on our defense. And candidly, to answer your question, we have thought all along that if we see a way to improve this year with a trade at the deadline, then we'll take advantage of it. And that's what we positioned for to start this year, was to have ammunition to do things if we have an opportunity.
What? We traded so that we have a chance to trade later on in the season. We traded our best player so we'd have a chance to trade for someone that can't possibly be as good as their best player later on in the season. We're open for business, everybody. Anyone want to make a deal? Anyone want to give us someone? Like, that's not how deals work. Jerry knows that. He's an oil guy. He was on Landman. He delivered a heartfelt monologue to John Hamm's character. R.I.P. That ain't how a deal's made. And he did it again later on in this press conference. Here he is talking about the Kenny Clark contract that I guess makes it easier for the Cowboys to make a trade.
I've said it earlier today. One of the great things about our trade that we had with Green Bay is that our tackle makes about $22 million a year, where he costs us $2 million. And so we're getting a $20-something million a year player for $2 million right now. And he's playing about as well as anybody on defense. Why do I bring that up? That alone has increased our flexibility of being able to look at potential trades right now. Where
He really thinks he's sounding like a genius here. I mean, he's got to know he sounds like he's full of shit, right? I don't buy into the idea that Jerry Jones is completely senile, but he's sure starting to sound it.
as you might have had hand cramps before. So we're in position to look at a trade. That doesn't mean we're going to make one, but we certainly had in mind when we started this season that we were going to have ammo to be more flexible in terms of what we do with the roster as we move along this year and, of course, as we get into the next couple of years.
He's not looking good there, is he? I think he should use a little cortisol, perhaps, on the eye, the rash that's going on around there. But let's bring it back to his comments about how the Cowboys have the ability to make a trade right now. He's brought this up 3 times over the last month, counting yesterday. Jerry Jones brought this up September 12th in a radio interview on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. He talked about the value of the draft picks in the Micah Parsons trade, stating they would, quote, do some damage, end quote, and enable the Cowboys to acquire top talent. 10 days later, the 22nd, after a loss to the Bears, Jones addressed using the acquired draft capital for potential immediate trades, emphasizing the need for the right opportunity to utilize the picks. And then you heard him talking about it again. Don't talk about trades that are never going to come. Don't try to sell your fan base on, hey, we traded Micah Parsons so we can make trades at the trade deadline, if that's not a certainty to happen, which Jones even admitted in this interview. I don't really get what he's trying to do here, and it's just making him look more like someone who needs to step down, which he's not going to do. I think more and more Cowboys are going to get disinterested and, you know, hey, Dak Prescott might be doing all right and Brian Schottenheimer might be exceeding expectations, but it's hard to feel great about the direction of the Cowboys when you traded your best player this offseason and your owner / GM keeps talking about how, well, it's going to allow us to make some trades. Jerry Jones, everybody.